My name is Falafel Rhapsody, and welcome back into the Gungeon. Alright. Paradox. Actually, we can check in the Ammonomicon here what we get before we even go in, right? Oh, we can only check our guns, not our passive and active. Alright. Well, I mean, unless it gave me... Oh! Okay, that was actually incredibly skilled. I just slapped a mosquito out of the air and watched it drop. Woo! Alright. So we got the dueling pistol on our second hand. So if anything was the Alexander Hamel gun, this would be that. And we've also got, okay, disarming personality. It's one of the base items for the pilot. It just lowers the cost of things. So we're effectively like a little bit of a better pilot right now because we have a much better base weapon. Far more accurate, far longer range. I think it actually has a better reload time as well as having a much larger clip. Okay. No. You just stay all the way over there, friend. Alright. These rooms should be relatively trivial to clear, so I should just be able to kind of put that in the back. What do I want to think about for the sake of the ballot? For the ballot. Sorry, damn it. What do I want to think about for the sake of the dueling pistol? Possibly picking up the item called the ballot? Or just ballot? Because that has a synergy, but there's also another synergy with dueling pistol. At which point it might become my run-defining weapon. Okay, well, there's our secret room. So, at this point, I'm just looking for the boss. And I'll probably fight with my base weapon, let's be real. I'm pretty sure my base weapon will actually end up dealing more damage per second. Now, I'm not the robot, so I don't have any benefit for stacking junk or anything like that. Actually, hang on. I mean, if it's going to penetrate 2 targets... Actually, you know what? Dueling pistol is still way better. I've also very specifically chosen my target here. I want to kill Smiley first. If that's at all possible. If it's not, then it's not, and I'll bail, but... If I can kill Smiley first, I prefer to kill Smiley first, just because Shades is easier to control when Shades gets to the second phase. It's like how I'll almost always kill Ornstein first and then fight Super Smo in Dark Souls, if you're familiar. And if you're not, then I hope you enjoyed that 10-second break from commentary. Ah! Alright, good dodge roll, though. Bad positioning to need it, but good dodge roll and good blank. Right. If you'll just stay the absolute hell away from me, please. Yeah, as long as you just stay far enough away from the enemy, the bullets spread out enough that you should just be able to walk away from them. I mean, occasionally a roll is required, but... Really, you should mostly be okay. I was cornering myself there, but I knew the enemy was going to be down soon. Crestfaller? I mean, you know, right? Because you know, right? And if you don't know, now you know, Mr. President. Apparently, I'm just going to be Alexander Hamilton references. I mean Hamilton references in general, this entire episode. So I don't apologize at all. If anything, you're welcome. It's good musical. Wind-up gun, Hexa, and a key. Hexa? Sorry, it's honeycomb. I knew which item it was. I just called it the wrong name because I think I was just trying to name that shape, and I haven't played that game since preschool. Heptahedron! Yay! Good game. Alright. Ooh, I actually got rid of the water barrel. I mean, we're probably not gonna get enough keys to go to the oubliette, and there is literally a water barrel, like, immediately outside, so... No problem whatsoever. I really didn't think that was going down. Even when I don't intend to go to the oubliette, I always try and make sure that the ability to open the entrance to the oubliette is available to me. Just in case. Hey, something might change later on in that floor. Or I could get a sudden abundance of keys, and then I can just use the oubliette to farm out some more items. Or, the far more likely option, is I decide that this floor has been garbage for me. I haven't got anything powerful, and I'm feeling like I'm going to be threatened next floor. Guess I go to the... Really? Are you actually going to pocket watch me? Game. Okay, 2 keys over here at least. Well, you know what? If you're going to give me the pocket watch and the finished gun, and hell, whatever is in... This has the synergy. Chest. Thanks for playing. Yeah, now we just speedrun the game. In fact, probably exclusively off of the back of the finished gun. And you know what? I'll even hold the super hot gun, at the very least, until I have a good opportunity to sell it. How about that? That'll be the complication for the run. Because it's not like I have amazing other items right now. And less so... Or less so. I even have fewer interesting other items. So last time I turned down the finished gun, I turned it down for the reason that... Wait a second, I've got a bunch of other cool stuff happening on this run. I want to focus on that. But there's nothing else cool happening on this run, so I don't feel at all bad just using this. So the Super Hot Watch is a reference to the game Super Hot... Super. Okay. I recently had a conversation with Withered the Cat is actually their name, in my Discord, in the patron section of my Discord. And I asked, am I just getting really lucky, or is the finished gun incredibly common? Because I got it, like, I unlocked it, I got it that run, and then I got it the next run as well. I think at this point, I got it 2 times in the run after that. I think it might be too common. Something might be going down. Sure, with naught but the pea shooter. Oh, wow, that's gonna be rough. What a bad time I'm about to have. If only I had the ability to stop time, unload a whole clip's worth of shots into an enemy, and then just start time again. So, Super Hot is a game wherein time only moves when you move, and that's obviously what's happening here with the Super Hot gun as well. Well, Super Hot gun, Super Hot watch. That said, I don't like that you have to keep in constant movement if you want to... if you want time to progress so that you can actually fight the enemies. Because, like, I can stand here, reload my gun... And I can try and fire a whole clip here, but that's not going to work. I need to start moving before I can fire the next one. I'm clicking constantly right now. So you need time to progress. This is actually a pretty wild room for the Gunsling King to get me to do with just the pea shooter. Like, props to the Gunsling King. You chose a good room. Oftentimes, Gunsling King will choose a room that... Oh, nice. Will choose a room that is already, like, only 2 enemies. But this was 3 reloads and a couple rough enemies, actually. We got Blunderbuss from that. Not super into it. So, yeah, at this point, I am actually just going to be speedrunning. So, I'm literally looking for the boss room constantly. With finished gun in particular, I shouldn't be scared to do that. So this, at the very least, is still kind of like a unique-ish way of playing for me. If you're not watching the Gungeon Race series, which has actually finally had its first episode published on YouTube. The delay in the publishing of that series is entirely on me, by the way. Every time I said, oh, I hope that series is already up by the time I'm talking about it now. I had a message from Rito about, hey, are we going to publish this video? In my inbox, and I hadn't yet responded to it. That's my bad. That's a one of the me bad situations. I guess I should probably still open that chest. Yeah, let's go open the blue. Haha, heavy bullets. All right, 20% damage up, slower projectile speed. But the projectile speed of this gun is already really good. But the really good thing behind this is it slows down my reflecting projectile, so that will spend a longer time in enemies. Yeah, we hit the boss cap basically whenever we reflect their shots at them. I mean, it's also handy that this has turned out to be a speedrun compatible build. Ooh, you're trying to punk me, eh? Nice try. Give me the loot as well as the pulse cannon. Loot's garbage, by the way. It's super inaccurate. It does shots like that. And it also doesn't really do high damage. But apparently there's a synergy with it and Metronome, I think, that makes it really good. I don't intend to stick around long enough to find out. Unless I, you know, happen to stumble across Metronome in this run. I mean, I'd be all about that life. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye to you as well. To you. Oh, these reflective shots are doing work. I didn't need the 20% damage up, but the slower projectile speed, which is usually the cost of getting the 20% damage up, is actually like a giant benefit for me. Sweet. So basically, what am I doing here if I'm looking specifically for the boss room, right? Let's talk a little bit about pathing. The first thing that I'm doing is anything that looks like it could create a loop, I'm avoiding. And anytime I get the option to go on a very long path to get away from the main center of the map, I'm taking that. So this is all of the pathing kind of stuff that we don't necessarily get to discuss in the racing series. It's not always correct, but okay, now I'm almost certain that I was correct on the previous. Damn it. Yeah. So it's not always correct, but the fact that I now have so many choices here means that I was probably correct. That's a lot of keys. Just gonna take them all. Because I might find some item rooms before I find boss rooms and things like that. I do want to save those for later. Yeah, here's the boss room. So see, like, this is literally the fastest path I could have taken to get here. You can luck into that like 1 or 2 times, or maybe even 3 times, or... Is there a number higher than 3? But not as many times as Rito and I do them. Obviously, there's a formula behind the pathing. And you kind of just get a feel for it over time in the same way that even without knowing the rules for how secret rooms spawn in Isaac, you can just generally get a feel for it over time playing enough Isaac. I recognize that most of the references I'm making will make no sense to anyone who is not familiar with the property I'm referring to, so... Sorry about that, but it's also the easiest way that I can elucidate my point. Blank here, cool. 2 half hearts to you. So I'm only doing this just... Oh, right, I need you to refresh. Did she just say thanks for playing? I think she did. Which is probably due to the fact that I have the finished gun, but it might be just due to the fact that I've finished the game. And unlocked the finished gun, rather than the fact that I have it. Thankfully, when you pick up 2 items that are the same, they actually just overwrite one another, so we don't have 5 curse from the finished gun, as well as 5 curse from another finished gun. Otherwise, we would already be facing up against the Lord of the Jams, and I would, at that rate, probably keep the Super Hot Watch. Just for safety's sake. Oh. Shot a second shot while I was rolling. That is just cruel. Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen a jammed one of y'all before. Which is to say, jam displace a beast. Really? The inconsistency with when time moves and when it doesn't. Yes, I know it's obviously just directly related to when you move, so you have direct control over it. But the inconsistency of it makes dodging things harder unless you do want to just constantly slow down time and be really methodical with it. Which I just don't enjoy. I don't think it's a fun way to play the game at all. Alright, yeah. This path is taking ages to go so far nowhere. I would guess that we get to a split in the road up soon, and then one of them is a special room, and then one of them is the boss room. Here's us splitting the road. It's a four-way split, though. We'll obviously be going for the Synergies chests. Okay, there we go. Feeling it. These can't be a mimic. Potion of gun friendship. What? Temporary +1 to gun and... Oh, 5 o'clock somewhere. Okay, so after you empty a clip, I'm pretty sure it is. That's probably a loop. After you empty a clip, you throw a bottle at the enemies, and it stuns them. I mean, Potion of Gun Friendship, when I don't have an active item for this build, it's fine. I have no qualms. I'll only sell the Super Hot Watch if I find the ability to sell the Super Hot Watch. Otherwise, I'll keep it. How about that? I'm obviously not looking for the ability to sell the Super Hot Watch. I'm just looking for the exit to the floor. This actually now looks like it's looping back to the previous one. Like, all the way back. Really? Oh god, the room hadn't ended yet. I really dislike the Super Hot Watch, like, a lot. Yep. So that was trying to make a loop there. So I did 3 extra rooms, but that's still a pretty quick floor overall. There's actually a lot left in that floor. Obviously, both of the item rooms in the shop come to mind. Hell yeah. I always like a run where I can perfect the High Priests, because those are kind of few and far between. I have a lot of difficulty with the High Priest. I have at this point the decision. Do I backtrack and look for a shop so I can try and find ammo for my main gun? Or do I swap to the Sunlight Javelin until I get ammo for it? Having left the floor, I think my decision has been made clear. Was the Sunlight Javelin, like, buffed in a recent Huh. An awful roll. Was the Sunlight Javelin buffed in a recent update or something like that? Because it feels a lot like it's way better than I've ever seen it before. Like, it's single shooting a lot of these targets. If it single shoots, bullet can... Oh, wait, never mind. I have 20% damage up. Herp derp. Now, interesting thing here. I don't know what that orange aura is doing. I'm assuming it's just constantly electrifying them. But I'll only believe that once I see an enemy actually die to the electricity it causes. But here's an interesting thing. The boss room, that is to say the boss room I'm about to go into, the mini boss room, is almost never on the correct path to the boss. In my experience. Maybe I've just been getting lucky. I don't know any actual spawning rules for that. But I've almost never had that be the case. 2 ammo drops. Neat. Oh, and a mimic. Should have fought the mimic and then picked up the other ammo. Ridiculous wealth of keys right now, so got that going for me at least. But yeah, I'm gonna see what actually lies down this path. I'd probably be kind of keen to actually see the shot this floor as well. I saw the enemy in the wall starting to get jammed, so I knew that they were there. They couldn't disguise themselves as a normal Ashen round. I was just making sure this wasn't a room with a fork in the road. Because if it was, then my previous assumptions about the map have been wrong. This is a room with a fork in a road. Okay, well, I was wrong. I think this is on the correct path for the boss now. Okay. Wow. Absolute shortest path I could have taken. Wilds. Yep, the slower that final bullet travels, not only the longer it spends inside the hitbox of enemies, but the longer it spends on the map trying to reflect bullets for me. Just completely took that attack down. So if this was mixed with Bloody Eye or Liquid Valkyrie, good blank timing there. If this was mixed with Bloody Eye or Bloody Eye or Liquid Valkyrie, enemy bullets would be slowed. Also, like, the second level of Spice is enemy bullets are slowed. I have to drop stopwatch for this attack pattern. Because I'm more likely to damage myself by trying to move just to advance time. Than I am to perfect it. Just drop that again. But yeah, there's a bunch of things in the game that slow down enemy projectiles permanently. Second level of Spice usage, or it might be third. The Liquid Valkyrie and Bloody Eye. And if you had all of those, as well as slower projectiles on your bullet, you would be able to unload a clip before any shot hit you, just to reflect that shot back at the target from the finished gun. That's pretty ridiculous. Unfortunately, I couldn't have left the second ammo on the floor. It would have been stolen by the resourceful rat. Good idea, though, if you were thinking it. But exactly that is why it's not possible that you can do that. Because it's a really good idea. Alright, so the spawning conditions for Bullet Hell, I'll go over them right here. You get 3 selections. One of them is 2 rooms, and then it gets you on the correct path. One of them's a dead end, and then one of them is 1 room, and it gets you on the correct path. Right? Then after that, you have another selection of 3. On that selection of 3, 2 of those rooms will loop back to one another, and one of them just goes to another selection of 3. In that final selection of 3, there's 2 dead ends and 1 that leads directly to the boss, right? But there's 2 rooms that you fight in between the final selection and the dead end, and the final selection and the boss. So already I know I'm on one of the 2 correct paths here. Just because it's not a dead end. Also, in my experience, very large rooms like this are very unlikely to be dead ends. Alright. So now I know at this point that I am on the 2nd fastest path, also known as the 2nd slowest. So here we get back onto the main path. Oh, that's a punishing slow down attack there. Ooh, military training. Hold facing enemies. Slightly higher accuracy, slightly faster reload speed. Yes, please. Sign me TF up. Really? So we've already fought what I consider the worst room in hell, but we haven't fought what I consider... Sorry, the hardest room in hell. But we haven't fought what I consider to be the most annoying room in hell. Which is just a giant room where there's 2 respawns and way too many enemies, and it's just annoying. It's not super difficult, but it is very boring to do, and yeah, you can take a fair bit of damage in it. Alright. Let's use Thunderclap. Alright, I'm not actually enjoying using Thunderclap. Let's go to the Sunlight Javelin. Beautiful. If I don't get any more ammunition on this floor, we are actually going to have a really annoying time fighting the Lich. Just because I obviously forewent all... good hit. On their part, obviously, never mind. Because I obviously forewent all of the opportunities to get stronger here before... There we go. Before the final boss. Based on the gun that I had. Okay, that enemy died without me actually striking it, which does mean that the brilliant aura is a damage per second aura. Agonizer up next. Sweet. Okay, so this selection of 3, that's probably a loop, so I'm going downwards. This is the most annoying room in hell, by the way, just in case you didn't know which one I would have meant. This is definitely it. Damn it. I was so zealous that I just fired way too quickly there. Alright. The gun knights in the middle are actually really well positioned for us. It's going to be difficult for their shots to actually escape that area. When those are the enemies out in the open, that's annoying. Okay, it looks like this is looping back, but it's possible it's not. Never mind, it probably is. I wanted to give it specifically one more chance there. Wait a second. Where? There we go. Yeah, it is. It's definitely looping back. I don't know why I entered this final room. I did know it was definitely looping back by that point. Never mind, I know exactly why I entered this room. It was strategic, obviously. It was based on the idea that I was going to get ammo in one of those rooms. Of course, I knew it was going to happen. Sweet. Pull you all down, and then... Alright, we're covered. So now we have our final selection of 3 coming up in a couple spaces. That's bad. Ooh, jammed. Now, since we don't have any armor left, jammed enemies are actually pretty spooky. Because if you take a hit against a jammed enemy to armor, then you lose 1 armor. Same as with a normal enemy. But against normal red health, you take twice as much damage. I need you all to know that for the sake of trying to do different things, I am using the Super Hot Watch for this entire run. I absolutely hate the Super Hot Watch. Not just because I think it's unfun, but also because I actually think it's bad. It's a very, very big dislike for me. There's a lot of space to the left of the map right now, so I'm going to check this as my first possible dead end. And not a dead end. Okay, this was the correct path. So we completed 1, 2, 3, 4 extra rooms, but we dodged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's still a pretty efficient clear. Really? There's another one of you? Alright, boss time. I shouldn't be hitting the boss cap on this enemy unless I'm reflecting their own bullets back at them. Like, I shouldn't hit the boss cap just with my basic shots here. Okay. Glitch number 1 down. What, 33 minutes 46? Cool. Without the Super Hot Watch, this run would have been a lot faster. But yes, oh my god, I have to be moving, right? Of course. But I am making efforts here to try different things. It's just a lot of the time when I turn something down, it's because I don't think it's good and don't want to play with it. But I should, from time to time, at the very least, capitulate. Because sometimes when I capitulate, I find a new favorite item. Like, it's not just so that I'm listening to other people, but... Like, for instance, like, I am totally comfy using Casey now. But I wouldn't have used Casey if not for Rito. Because I tried it a couple times and I was like, I don't like this. And I tried it another time and I had a bit more information and I was like, yeah, I like this. But, oh, right, I actually had to keep moving here as well. But yeah, Super Hot Watch, I'm afraid, is still staying very much on my list. I don't have any blanks, so I can't blank the perfect section of the Lich. But what I can do is kill them in a total of 34-12. Got him. Pretty quick run, eh? Might actually even read as a loss, just from the timestamp, so I'm hoping that there's a couple people who got fooled by that one. Alright, Gungeon, give me that end screen so I can give the outro. Here it comes. It's taking ages, but there we are. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Into the Gungeon. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.